Hello and welcome to e-GMAT. We will solve question number 107 of OG Verbal 2nd edition by using e-GMAT 3-step process. In the first step, we will understand the meaning of the sentence. In the second, we will evaluate the errors in the sentence, and finally, we will review all the answer choices to get to the correct answer. So let's begin. Bluegrass musician Bill Monroe, whose repertory, views on musical collaboration and vocal style were influential on generations of bluegrass artists, was also an inspiration to many musicians that included Elvis Presley and Jerry Garcia, whose music differed significantly from his own. This sentence presents a few facts. It says that bluegrass musician Bill Monroe's repertory, views on musical collaboration, and vocal style influenced several generations of bluegrass artists. Besides, Monroe was also an inspiration to many other musicians such as Elvis Presley and Jerry Garcia, although their music differed significantly from the music of Monroe. Now let us evaluate the errors by splitting this sentence into its clauses. So here comes the first clause, bluegrass musician Bill Monroe. Well, presence of whose brings us to another clause that reads, whose repertory, views on musical collaboration and vocal style were influential on generations of bluegrass artists. Here repertory, views on musical collaboration and vocal style are the subjects and were is the verb. What follows next is the continuation of the first clause. In the first portion of this clause, we just had the subject, bluegrass musician Bill Monroe. What follows here is the verb and the remaining portion of that clause that reads, was also an inspiration to many musicians. Was is the verb for the subject, bluegrass musician Bill Monroe. Presence of that brings us to another clause that reads, that included Elvis Presley and Jerry Garcia. Here that is the subject and included is the verb. Presence of whose means we have another clause that reads, whose music differed significantly from his own. Here music is the subject and differed is the verb. Well, this expression were influential on generations is unidiomatic. Better and concise way to say is influenced generations. So the use of were influential on leads to idiom error in this sentence. There are other wordier expressions that can be written in a much concise manner. For example, was also an inspiration can be written as also inspired, and that included can be written as including. So let us run the POE to find out which answer choice corrects this mistake. Well, choice A certainly does not, as we just discussed. Choice B is the correct answer because in this choice, all the wordier expressions and unidiomatic expressions have been taken care of, and this choice correctly and clearly communicates the intended meaning of the sentence. Let's take a look at choice C now. Well, in choice C, this phrase influential to is unidiomatic. Also, singular verb was has been written with plural subject repertory, views on musical collaboration and vocal style, which is incorrect. So these errors make choice C incorrect. Let's take a look at choice D. Well, choice D is not correct because it repeats the same idiom and subject-verb number agreement errors as we found in choice C. And also, this choice is way too wordy. Choice E is incorrect because here this phrase were an influence on is unidiomatic. Also, choice E repeats the idiom error as we found in choice A. So as we found out earlier, choice B is the correct answer for this sentence. This brings us to the takeaway messages. We must use concise and correct expressions to convey the intended meaning of the sentence in the most effective manner. Also, all the subject-verb pairs in the sentence must agree in number with each other. The concept tested in this sentence has been covered in e-GMAT concepts, level 1, subject-verb agree in number.